¿Qué tal amigos? Bienvenidos a un nuevo video en el canal. Estoy muy contento de estar nuevamente con todos ustedes. Señores, llegamos al video estelar del día, llegamos al video estelar de la noche. Vamos a ver cómo Jamie Raskin le hace ver digamos que a todos, pero solamente pues se refiere a Pam Bondi. Obviamente no le queda a nadie más esas frases que él está pues diciendo, se está pronunciando en contra de Pam Bondi, haciendo ver que Pam Bondi no es la fiscal del Departamento de Justicia, no es la fiscal general de los Estados Unidos. Hace referencia a que Pam Bondi es la abogada personal de Donald Trump. Y vamos a ver qué tipo de respuestas tienen todos los demás actores políticos que se van a presentar aquí en el video. La verdad es que me gustaron algunas de las respuestas, así que vamos a verlo. Pónganse cómodos y adelante con las imágenes.
But I want to ask you this, because in addition to the substantive defense of the rule of law and the Constitution you're engaged in, all of you are also modeling what it means to be an attorney general. Because we've got an attorney general of the United States who literally thinks her job is to be the president's lawyer and to do whatever the president wants her to do, and thinks that the Department of Justice is the law firm for the president and his political party. I mean, that's a remarkable deformation and diversion of American history. So although it's indisputable that all of you are Democrats, I don't think you're here to represent the Democrats or the Democratic Party of your state. And I just wonder if you would say a word about what it means to you to be an attorney general and to try to act on behalf of the rule of law and not a political program. Perhaps Attorney General Raul, if you'd start.
Thank you for that question. I serve as the Attorney General of the state of Illinois, and in Illinois, I am independently elected from the governor, and by way of that, I serve the rule of law. I don't serve the governor. I do represent the governor. I represent the agencies within state, but I serve the rule of law, and I take that distinction very seriously, and I think that the U.S. Attorney General should operate with the same sort of, she shouldn't be loyal to the president, but she should be loyal to the rule of law. That does not mean you're not representing the government and the administration, but you have to do so within the bounds of the rule of law, and we take that very seriously.
Is there any one of you who would describe your job as being the governor's lawyer? Exclusively, in any way, okay. So I don't know if anybody wanted to add anything else on this. Yes, Attorney General Campbell.
I'll just add, similar in Massachusetts, elected by the people, and I'm accountable to the people in upholding the rule of law and protecting their rights and protecting our state's economy. I would just stress, and I think the NIH case, which we were all a part of, whether it's the first case or even the second iteration of that case, to protect access to these critical life-saving medical research, clinical trials. This is billions of dollars that go to every state in the country. We came together not looking at, okay, how do we just protect those who are Democrats or identify as Democrats in this country? We came together recognizing the unlawful actions by this administration to cut that funding. In NIH won quickly on a Friday night and mobilized to show up in court on Monday because we knew what was at stake. When you talk about a child having pediatric cancer or a vet dealing with PTSD, we don't look at whether or not they have a D or an R by their names. We mobilize to advance that litigation to protect the public health, not even only of those folks in our state, but to protect the public health of everyone across this country while at the same time upholding the rule of law. And I think it's just a great example of a great example of how we do our work regardless of political affiliation or even demographic.
Well, thank you for doing that. And Ellison and Plotkin, let me just twist the question a little bit. One of the things you guys are doing is defending the integrity of federal laws and programs that we've adopted. And because of the very restrictive standing rules that the court has imposed against Congress going to court to try to get our laws implemented, in a weird way, you're standing up for the laws that we've participated in passing But that's for all of the people, because after all, it's your representatives in Congress who voted for them as well. But I wonder if you could just reflect a little bit on that role you're playing in terms of making federal law work for everybody in the country as a state attorney general.
Chairman Raskin, we regard the laws that Congress passes as fundamentally the prerogative of the people who populate this country and send members to Congress. And so for an executive to usurp the role of Congress in appropriations or establishment of agencies or anything like that, we view as an outrageous overreach that simply cannot be tolerated. As I noted in my comments, the things that the president is trying to do, you probably can do if you follow the rules, but you cannot do it vis-a-vis executive order or edict or proclamation or this is how I feel this morning. The fact is that there are procedures that they can follow. They got to go to Congress. You want to abolish the Department of Education, as horrible of an idea as I believe that is, you have to go through Congress to do that. So he's not only doing things that I think are harmful to the American people, he's doing them in a way that is harmful to our system of justice and democracy.
Great. And then finally, forgive me.
I was just going to note, Representative Raskin, that what you said at the start of this is the core of many of the lawsuits we filed. Article 1 gives this body the broadest powers, particularly when it comes to passing laws, spending money. And a bulk of the cases we have talked about and have brought have been the president. When we say he can't act like a king, it means he can't take actions that you have done and put into law, signed into law by a president, passed by a Congress, and decide on a whim that he wants to, say, convert a Department of Transportation highway program into an immigration enforcement program. That is not what the Constitution allows. And so our lawsuits have been about standing up in many ways for the authority of this body to do the important work that it does.
Pues bien, señores, ahí el video la verdad es que me gustó bastante. Vean qué diferencia. La verdad es que es algo totalmente diferente que hemos estado viendo con Emil Bob. Hemos estado viendo qué diferentes son aquí las cosas. Vean la diferencia de las respuestas de las otras personas que han sido cuestionadas en un ambiente totalmente relajado, bueno, sin obviamente quitar la formalidad. Eso no significa que ya no sea serio, pero en un ambiente total más relajado, con preguntas que son, la verdad es que sí son algo difíciles, pero al mismo tiempo no se hacen difíciles porque realmente si tú eres un experto y realmente tú sabes qué vas a hacer al momento de gestionar ciertas cuestiones que necesitan pues máxima atención. La verdad es que se hace un poco más fácil y me gustó como Jamie Raskin al principio del video hizo, creo que la frase detonante de su intervención ahí en este video. Me gustó cómo dijo que Pam Bondi realmente se está convirtiendo en una abogada personal de Donald Trump. Ella está tratando de justificar a todo y sobre todos a Donald Trump, sobre todas las cosas, sobre todas las situaciones, y es algo que realmente creo que ella no tiene que estar haciendo absolutamente nada de ello. Recuerdan hasta incluso algunos días cuando estábamos analizando sus declaraciones, cuando le preguntaban ciertas cosas sobre Donald Trump que no le convenían, claramente está, pues hoy obviamente ella estaba pues desviando la atención, ella estaba respondiendo otras cosas, incluso estaba respondiendo absolutamente todo lo que no tenía nada que ver con la pregunta pues original. Y la verdad, pero bueno, aquí me gustó, como les digo, me gustó la respuesta de y aquí de todos los actores políticos que estuvieron presentes. Obviamente, como aquí la persona que estaba, aquí el colega que estaba haciendo su declaración, obviamente dice que sí, él va a representar pues que al gobernador y todo, obviamente, pero dentro de los límites del Estado de derecho, mientras que las leyes lo permitan, porque él obviamente va a serle fiel, pero al Estado de derecho, que es lo que más importa. Así que me gustaron esas declaraciones. La verdad es que ese tipo de comentarios son bienvenidos porque te da un panorama más amplio, te da un panorama más, te da otro ángulo de ver las cosas, y sobre todo te lo están diciendo personas capacitadas, personas altamente preparadas, así que me gustó, la verdad me gustó mucho este tipo de declaración para sobre todo analizarlo con todos ustedes, pero aquí lo que me importa es qué opinan ustedes. Me encantaría saber su opinión y bueno, hasta aquí creo que sería el video. Suscríbanse, es totalmente gratis. Pues creo que abarcamos algo que de lo que yo quería comentarles. Y bueno, suscríbanse, es totalmente gratuito, como les digo, es solamente para que ustedes no se pierdan los videos que estamos aquí, pues publicando todos los días. Hay contenido diario, así que ustedes no se van a aburrir, muy seguramente no lo van a hacer. Así que, bueno, atentos a mañana porque tenemos más contenido picante, así que, bueno, ahí los veo. Bye bye.